I recently published a video about Chandrababu Naidu and his second innings at boosting Andhra's economy. I've also made videos about Tamil Nadu and Odisha before. But something curious happened with the Andhra video. The viewership from the United States was unusually high, much higher than any other state-focused video on this channel. That got me curious. Why would a video about a regional Indian political leader attract such a disproportionately large American audience? So I started digging. One article led to another. One statistic led to another. Soon I found myself deep inside a rabbit hole of migration data, diaspora research papers, and even old internet forums discussing the same question. In fact, I discovered that people were asking this exact question more than a decade ago. Why do Telugu people migrate to the United States in such disproportionate numbers? And the answer turns out to be a fascinating story about policy decisions, economic shocks, social pressure, and a powerful cultural myth that transformed the aspirations of an entire generation. A story that begins nearly half a century ago. This is the first video in a two-part series where we explore how the Telugu community built one of the most powerful immigrant networks in America, the unintended consequences this migration created within society, and why this once celebrated dream is starting to face serious challenges today. If you're new to Periscope, please subscribe. Let's dive in. To understand this migration wave, we need to start with a global crisis that had nothing to do with India. It's the late 1990s. The world is holding its breath over a problem called Y2K.
People were terrified the world was going to end.
This is not one of the summer movies where you can close your eyes during the scary parts.
A Senate panel describes Y2K, the year 2000 computer bug, as a worldwide crisis.
The president called me one night and said, here's an office and an assistant, and don't let the world stop.
For decades, programmers had stored the year using just 2 digits to save memory. 1999 became 99. A clever shortcut at the time. But as the clock approached the year 2000, that shortcut suddenly became a catastrophe in rating. Computers would read 00 as 1900. Banking systems could freeze. Airline software could fail.
Airplanes and trains may come to a halt.
Critical government infrastructure could go dark. Millions of lines of legacy code needed to be reviewed and rewritten. And it had to happen before midnight on January 1st, 2000. The United States and Europe were desperate. They needed software engineers fast. But Western engineers were expensive, and there simply weren't enough of them. So companies started looking east. Indian IT firms, Infosys, PCS, Wipro, landed enormous international contracts almost overnight. Thousands of Indian programmers worked through the night, fixing date bugs, testing systems, patching decades-old code. When the year 2000 finally arrived, the feared catastrophe never came. The world sighed with relief and moved on.
3, 2, 1, Happy 2000!
But something had permanently shifted. For the first time, global companies had seen Indian software engineers perform at scale, under pressure, against a hard deadline. The trust that was built in those months didn't disappear when Y2K ended. It became the foundation of India's entire IT industry. The crisis was over. The opportunity was just beginning. And one state was positioned better than almost anywhere else to capture it. In the mid-1990s, Andhra Pradesh was still largely agricultural. Technology wasn't the engine of its economy. But in 1995, Chandrababu Naidu became Chief Minister. And he saw something others didn't. He believed technology could completely reshape the state's future. His government began aggressively courting global tech companies. High-tech city rose in Hyderabad, a gleaming technology park built almost on faith. Because in the beginning, the offices stood largely empty. Critics mocked it. Skeptics called it a vanity project. But Naidu kept pushing. He personally pitched Hyderabad's potential to international business leaders. He got a few minutes in front of Bill Gates and used them well.
incredibly kind introduction from my good friend, the Honorable Chief Minister Naidu. When we met, he had his digital equipment computer, and he was really painting a vision of how we could make government better by using this very advanced tool.
Microsoft opened its first Indian development center in Hyderabad. Once Microsoft arrived, others followed. Google, Amazon. Within a single decade, Hyderabad had transformed from a city known for biryani and history into one of Asia's fastest growing technology hubs. The effect on society was immediate and profound. Families across Andhra Pradesh and Telangana began steering their children towards engineering, specifically computer science. Coaching centers multiplied. Competitive exams became the central focus of a child's education. Engineering colleges exploded from fewer than 100 to over 700 by 2010, with nearly 40% of students choosing computer-related fields. A global opportunity had opened. An entire generation was being built to walk through it. And walk through it they did, in a pattern that became almost algorithmic. Engineering degree in India, master's degree in the United States, H-1B visa, job in American tech. Repeat and tell everyone back home. American universities offered cutting-edge research, world-class infrastructure, and a direct on-ramp to the largest technology companies on earth. Salaries in the American tech sector dwarfed anything available in India. For an ambitious graduate with options, the choice felt obvious. But it wasn't just economics driving this. It was networks. The early Telugu engineers who settled in the US didn't just build careers, they built communities. Cultural associations formed, temples were established. Festivals that had always been celebrated in Andhra Pradesh, Sankranti, Ugadi, Batukamma, Bonalu, began appearing in Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Seattle, the Bay Area. These communities became something invaluable, a soft landing for every wave of migrants that followed. A student arriving in America for the first time could call someone from the same district, the same college, sometimes even the same street. They could get housing advice, university tips, job referrals. The uncertainty of moving to a foreign country, the thing that stops most people, was quietly absorbed by the network that came before. Migration stopped feeling like a leap into the unknown. It felt like joining something that already existed and was waiting for you. Today, that network spans over 1.2 million Telugu people in the United States. Telugu is now the second most spoken Indian language in the country after Hindi.
Telugu is the second most spoken language in our country. It is the mother tongue of the people of two states, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh.
So widespread, it appears on ballot papers in American elections, and an estimated 40 to 50% of all Indian H-1B visa holders in IT are Telugu speaking. But here is where the story gets complicated. Because at some point, migration stopped being an economic decision. It became a cultural one. Telugu cinema played a quiet but powerful role in this shift. For decades, films depicted America as a place of opportunity, modernity, and possibility, and crucially, as a place that respected Telugu culture and identity. America wasn't portrayed as a place where you had to give up who you were. It was portrayed as a place where who you were was celebrated. That image lodged itself deep in the collective imagination. Hyderabad, a temple called the Visa Balaji Temple emerged, where people pray specifically for a US visa. That detail tells you everything. This was no longer just a career strategy. It had become something closer to a pilgrimage. Families began measuring success through migration. Parents proudly told relatives their son was in the US. NRI grooms commanded a premium in the marriage market. Engineering colleges advertised their American placement records on banners outside their gates. The United States stopped being a country. It became a status symbol. And this is exactly where the dream began to quietly crack. When an entire society ties its self-worth to a single aspiration, the pressure to reach it by any means necessary becomes immense. The consequences of that pressure are what we explore in part 2. How the obsession reshaped Telugu society from the inside, the financial risks families took, the corners that got cut, and why, for the first time in a generation, people are beginning to ask the question that once felt unthinkable. Was it worth it?